Hi everybody, Jeff Garage Maker Guy here, and I've got some stuff ready for more foam coat. So we're going to start covering the foam pieces starting in the middle of the track and working our way out, so we don't ruin or risk damaging the outside pieces trying to get to the pieces in the middle. So start in the middle and work your way out. And these are the pieces that I'm going to start with. Pretty simple. All I did was use a, I showed you how to use the sculpting tool to get the initial shape. And then all I did was go over it with a little palm sander with some 80 grit paper. So there's, it kind of, doesn't have any real super sharp edges. And it really doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to coat it with this foam coat that is going to hide any imperfections. And on this piece, what I did is I added some 2-inch foam up there and a 1-inch piece of foam there to kind of give it some elevation, just a little bit, because I don't want anything too tall on the infield because I want the drivers to be able to see the cars. This is actually the piece that goes under the overpass on the exit of turn 1. So normally this piece goes like that, and these two slots are for the little wood blocks that hold up the overpass. So I cut this piece so I can fit it in without having to lift up the overpass and do all that. And that's one of the beauties of working with foam and this foam coat, is these pieces are incredibly light, and now I've got modular scenery that I can remove if I need to. And yeah, I think it should work really well. So that's oh, the other thing before I start doing the foam coat, after you get the foam the way you want it and the stuff sanded down and you think you're all ready, you're not. Go back, put the pieces back in, and make sure that you have 3/16 to I think a 1/4 inch might be too much, but make sure you have a gap all the way around, because once you put this foam coat, you're going to be adding thickness to this, and you want to have a good thick coating on the edge so it doesn't break or chip, but you don't want to not have the clearance and get it all. Once that foam coat dries, it's rock hard and it's not really easy to remove. So make sure your pieces fit loosely and can accommodate the thickness of the foam coat. It's pretty simple. So anyway, I'm going to be back in a little bit, and I will have these coated with goop. And this time I'm going to try to tint the foam coat in something that doesn't look like dark chocolate. Anyway, see you soon. Okay, so I got the foam coat on there, and I let it start to set up a little bit. It was still wet, and then I went over it with a wet brush, just a cheap little brush, dipped in some water to smooth out the fingerprints. I just used the gloves on my hands and smeared the foam coat all over the best that I could, and then I went back and brushed it lightly with a wet brush just to kind of get rid of all the fingerprints and unnatural looking textures, or whatever you want to call it. But it looks pretty good. Of course, this gets all covered with the flocking, but this took me, I don't know, 30 minutes to coat all this, and I'll let it dry overnight. Then I'll start throwing some terrain on it. So anyway, be back in a few. Hey everybody, Jeff Garage Maker Guy here, and I have actually made some progress, but the the most recent pieces of foam that I've put the foam coat on, I'm tending to want to retract my statement about the concrete pigment that I used. That stuff right there, the Quikrete, where I did this piece and I said it turned out to be dark chocolate, and it wasn't a big deal because we're going to put all sorts of stuff on it, and I wanted to use something that more closely matched this color that I used, which was the Woodland Scenics earth tone undercoat, which is a ridiculous amount of the cost is more than that little bottle of Quikrete. Anyway, so that looks white, right? These are pieces that I did, and I put in a half a bottle of the Woodland Scenics pigment, and it looked good when it was wet, but it pretty much it's an off-white, but I'm gonna have to paint this stuff, so I need to use a different pigment. I might end up using the Quikrete stuff, just because it actually does change the color significantly. So back to this. So we have these removable pieces because I did this in sections, and it's rigid. So this is the part about being removable. So we're gonna just set those over there. I'm gonna take this guy, set it over here. Wow, that was some pretty strange cracking noise. Don't really care. It's all gonna get colored, and it's all gonna have many, many coats of the Scenic cement. That's the Woodland Scenics brand, but basically it's water and glue sprayed all over it, so it's gonna get hardened anyway. So we're gonna grab the rest of these pieces. You'll have to excuse me, it is Friday night. I've had a few beers, and I'm gonna have a few more. So, you can see this. You can take this out. This actually came out really good. Really happy with the elevations. And sorry for the bumpy ride, but it is what it is. But I can't believe how not dark that is. But I am very happy with the cleanup, the quickness of working with foam versus the plaster. I will never work with plaster again. That shit is just a mess. Okay. Alright, so those are the pieces that I had done, and they're on a white table, and there's not a whole lot of difference, so I just wasted, half a bottle of the Woodland Scenics brand pigment, and now I'm going to actually have to go through an extra step of painting the edge. You just don't want to have that ultra light color showing through your scenery, your terrain. A little disappointed with that, but long story short, it's not a big deal. All you gotta do is paint it. So I'll do that. And this was a test run because the big ticket items are these foam blocks, which I still haven't cut. I need to actually get some fans on because I have to hot wire these in place because I have to make a lot of adjustments and a lot of passes, and the fumes are really, really bad. Don't do this in an enclosed space if you're cutting foam. Yeah. It's getting closer. I can't wait until this is done. And then I can actually get into well, it's all fun stuff. It's a hobby, right? But I really am looking forward to building some cars from scratch, upgrading stock cars with modified motors, and doing the analog digital switch conversion and all sorts of other stuff. And just want to take a little bit of time to say thank you very much for watching. This is one of my passions, something that I've loved from, God, I was like 5 up until now, and the technology is come into play, and it's just a great hobby. It's a lot of fun for one person, but a hell of a lot more fun with a lot of guys, gals, whatever. Just more people involved makes it more fun, and if you can make it look good, it just brings you into that world a little bit better. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Hey everybody, Jeff, Garage Maker Guy here, and I've been busy doing scenery stuff. So I got a few pieces that go in the infield, not 100% complete, but they don't look like plywood and they don't look like foam anymore. So the nice thing about these is that I can pick them up and I can take them off the track and work on them. That white stuff is cement that hasn't dried yet. It'll dry clear. That was just to tack down the small bushes, the underbrush there. So anyway, I'm going to put these back into the track. Later on I'll be removing them to add grass and a little bit more stuff, but the main thing is to get it so it doesn't look like that anymore. Be back in a minute. Hi everybody, Jeff, Garage Maker Guy, and made some progress on the scenery. So looking pretty good. Got a couple more modules to go, or components or whatever, but it comes out real easily, and unlike this section, so I really don't want to redo this, but yeah, this came out pretty good. So now that the tacking adhesive is dried, it's completely clear, and yeah, so not too shabby. Certainly looks better than it did. So I am pleased. Now I've only got a few more pieces on the infield. Then we're gonna I had to actually add another layer of foam to these. These are really high up, so I have to go back and hot wire foam all of these again, and cut them with a hot wire, I mean. And then just sand them, coat them with foam coat, and we'll be done. This section is gonna get redone because I'm gonna be relocating these pieces, and then I will just have one continuous piece of scenery there, and well, you guys will see that when I'm done. Anyway, just a quick update. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below. I do read all of them. Usually takes me anywhere, I usually answer them back within a week, depending on how busy I am, but be safe and have fun. Take care. Bye.